Hey everyone, welcome to the channel, guys. It's been a long time since we've done one of these. How many people we got in the chat at the moment? 44. It's late in the UK. It's 20 to midnight. So yeah, we're nearly on the Thursday the 25th nearly. So wherever you're watching from, we're going to get into something like what we used to do about 2 months ago, maybe it's a little bit longer. Yeah, I've missed doing this, guys. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to bore you guys with the ifs and whats and stuff like that. But yeah, my brain's been all over the place with YouTube over the past few months. I'm not going to lie. So I'm just trying to refocus and gather my intentions and put them in the right direction, because YouTube means an awful lot to me and I want to get it right. So, you know, sometimes I get a bit sidetracked with things, and that's probably one of the reasons why I haven't been doing this, okay? And you see a drop in views and things like that, and it does. I'm not gonna lie and say it doesn't get you down. It does actually affect your mental health a little bit. I wasn't expecting it to be that way with YouTube, but after doing it for over 2 years, I can honestly say it does. But there's only myself to blame for that. You know, if you don't do these sorts of things, you don't get the views. So I have to have a bit of a word with myself, kick myself up the arse, and get back to doing what I enjoyed doing, which is this, guys. So if you are here, you've been here for a while, let me know in the chat. And if you're brand new to the channel, thanks for supporting me, guys. I really do appreciate it a hell of a lot. I'm not going to lie, I really do. So yeah, we've what we're going to do is just a few more moments of admin, getting a few ticks in the boxes out the way. Then we're going to go into a bit of a map study. I'm going to use a different map for this one, and normally we have a live map that we use. It's a Ukraine live map, but we're going to use a different one, deep state map. It's pretty good, and I'll show you why. Because you can go back in time almost, and you can gauge how well or how badly the opposition's been doing. Okay, so we're going to go into that. I'm going to tell you what my thoughts are on that. Okay, and then we're going to go into a little bit of news. All right, there's various different sites that I've been using. There's various different sites that I've seen others use to get their information from. So we're going to diversify a little bit and use some of the information sites that other people have been using on different channels, because I think there's some good information that can come out of this. So yeah, first things first, what we're going to do is, troops, how many's in the chat? 57 concurrent viewers. Yeah, that'll do. If you could smash the like button, that's one of the biggest things that can help me. And number two, I've noticed if you can share this content, however you do it, whether it's via WhatsApp, whether it's via social media, any way possible, all right, to get this out there a little bit more. What that does is it helps the algorithm out. It tells YouTube that my channel's interesting, and it just helps me out a bit, okay? And I really appreciate that. If you could just, it takes 2 seconds to share the content, troops. You'd be surprised how well it does. And that's that. Jay-Z, so we've got a couple of guys. All right, okay, Jay-Z, you're getting hidden from the chat, dude. Jay-Z, yeah, cheers, Jay-Z. Cool name, buddy. All right, anyone want to be a moderator for this? Ben from West Sussex. Ben. Thanks for the support, buddy. I appreciate it, man. I've just noticed I can't. Let me see if I can get you on my phone. Make you. Yeah, well, if anyone wants to moderate the chat, we could do with 1 or 2 people to help out. We have to do it on my phone while we're waiting, guys. By the way, before we get into it, who here knows Andrew Tate? And if you do, what's your thoughts on him being silenced? Who wants to drop a comment below? Who'd like to moderate the chat for me? Anyone? It'd be good if we get someone who's pretty clued up, pretty happy to do the job just for this stream, and let's see how we do. Anyone want to moderate? Drop a comment below, guys. If not, we'll just crack on and I'll moderate it myself. Hey, no probs, Frank. No probs at all, man. No problemo. Rob Bud, cool beans. Right, let's go. Done deal. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Add moderator. There you go, my friend. Thank you. Got a few, just in case a few wise guys come into the chat, okay? Why is my camera blurry? There we go. Back in. Right then, guys. So, people who are brand new to the channel, we used to do this a couple of months ago. In fact, we started it when the war in Ukraine first began, like 182 days ago, I think it is now. Crazy. To even think it's nearly 200 days in is crazy, guys. Okay, but that's the unfortunate circumstances we see ourselves in. We've since that point, since the start of the special operation, which it was originally classified as, up until now, we've seen various different responses around the world. We've seen various different actions against other countries as well. The more recent one is Taiwan. Okay, the Taiwan tensions has grown. Other countries are capitalizing on, I don't want to say war, I want to say panic and fear. Other countries are capitalizing on that. We turn and we that type of generation where we react to these scenarios in a fearful way now, because it's pushed in the mainstream an awful lot. So we get to get oversight of what's going on around the world a little too much, I would say. Which panics people. So it's, there's a lot of countries capitalizing on that fear. And China's one of them. Taiwan, unfortunately, is at the brunt end of that. And then we've seen other countries as well starting to get a little bit funny with situations. But today we're going to keep on the topic of Ukraine. Let's get into this map. So this map is it pretty, sorry, my eye's blurry. I don't know what's in it, man. This map's pretty cool for a number of reasons, okay, guys? It shows us, see if you can see it here. I used this map earlier on today to show, the start of the war all the way through to the current day, how it has changed and stuff, okay? But what we want to focus on today is this region here, mainly in and around Donetsk, and then up this way as well. Sorry, my pronunciation is pretty bad, guys, but Donetsk is a bit of a hot topic at the moment, and you can see the movement here throughout the ground. Now, this front line here is roughly, this bit here, 136 kilometers. So just to put that into context, 136 kilometers is bloody far. And they're fighting, in a lot of areas. They're fighting in trenches as well. We've seen in the Great Wars, World War I and II, once you start getting involved in heavy trench warfare, the pace of the war seems to change. Okay, it seems to slow down a great deal, and we're seeing the exact same thing happen here. Okay, and it's something that I think is going to be potentially a bit of a stalemate with the whole thing. I think this is going to continue for quite a while until something has to change major on both sides for this stalemate to stop. To the point of which I'm thinking, is this gonna draw out so long that it just stops? That both sides just kind of drift apart? Or what? I mean, what's your thoughts, guys? Let me know in the chat. I'll read some of the comments as we go. Hey, let's not talk about Nancy. You know how I feel about Nancy Pelosi. I'm not going to get too political on things, but some people actually get a bit upset when I start talking about Nancy Pelosi. There's a lot of people love her, believe it or not. AGD Doggo 1208, great channel. Thank you, dude. I appreciate it, man. Carl, China economy is scary. Yeah, I mean, it's Elon Musk was talking about China's economy, about how humongous it is, and where that's going to position other countries in the next 5 years is going to be no man's business. Okay, what they're physically doing around the world is systematically taking over countries without shedding a drop of blood. They're doing it with they're imposing their economy, their great masses of wealth, and they're building infrastructures around the world, helping regenerate areas that other countries have, dare I say, left after the war, after humanitarian problems and everything. They're coming in and rebuilding these areas on massive finance deals, that their country's effectively never going to be able to pay back. Meaning that that country's probably going to become part of China in the next 50 years. So, really are they really are playing the long game, aren't they? Which is smart. Um, what else we got? Sorry if I can't keep up with the questions, guys. Oh yeah, one more thing I forgot to mention in the chat. If you want to super chat, those questions will be highlighted. So, and obviously the super chats go towards helping me sustain this as a job. So I'd appreciate any of those, but if not, it's absolutely fine, guys. I'll crack on anyway. Stephen W. It's like Russian leadership forgot how much it sucks to be an occupying force. Yeah. I don't know. We can talk about we can talk about egos and stuff all day long, and I'm not naive to say that we talk about Russia, and when it comes to this war, this whole Ukraine conflict, we talk about Russia holistically, and I think it's wrong to do that with any country, really. A lot of Russian people don't like what's going on over there. Let's get that straight. Okay, they're not into it, so to speak. So it's the higher echelons of the political society there who've making these bad decisions. Okay, and it shows. It's like shown throughout the past 50 years. Conflicts that Russia's been involved in is we can talk all day about their lack of tactical awareness on the battleground, their lack of logistical ability. Their logistics is terrible. In most cases, it's terrible. Okay, they've relied on their sheer brute size and strength to be able to get through situations, and it's something that they can't use forever to sustain themselves in war. And that's where I think Ukraine wins this fight long term. If they can play the long game with them, which they're currently in the trenches, as you can see here. I mean, this area in particular is like 136.74 kilometers. So if they can sustain themselves long enough with support from the West and NATO, then that's where I think Ukraine will win. They'll win the long game on this. Russia notoriously doesn't tend to do well with the long game. And that's when, their lack of logistical support, their lack of political support, the sanctions and everything that's getting imposed will actually have a deeper effect on them in the long run. We look at Afghanistan, the same types of stuff were apparent, Rob Bud says, I don't see the end game. Yeah, everything we're doing at the moment is just surmising based on information that's already in, isn't it? It's who knows where this is truly going to go. That's the thing. Who knows? Hey, Tim FD, long time no see, dude. How you doing, my friend? Troops, if we can get over 100 likes in the chat, I'd really appreciate that. Thank you for being here, guys. I appreciate you for being here. Hey, the Diamond Dog, been here for a long time, dude. Good to see you, man. Carl, what are you saying? I'm confused about how bad several special units from Russia underperform. I'm glad you've asked that question. It's a really, really good question. Or should I say statement? I've actually got a little bit of substance that I can add to that. And I'm not surprised why some of their special units are underperforming. It's because depending on where you're watching the news from, let's say you're watching from America, you're blessed with the knowledge, and not the knowledge from an egotistical standpoint. You're blessed with the knowledge that your special forces are bloody fantastic. It's common knowledge, even among countries where their special forces might not be as good, but they say it is, and they've built that reputation from ego, and it's backed by the civilian population's ego of, ours is the best. They truly know that maybe they're not as good as, say, America or the United Kingdom. And that's not me being biased. That's me from lived experience within the military, within the Royal Marines. Yes, you can have ego in the Royal Marines Commandos. A lot of lads do. But there's one thing for sure. You understand your limitations. You understand what you're good at. Now, as a Royal Marines Commando, it's common knowledge among even the United States that a basic US Marine is no match for a Royal Marines Commando. Now, a specialized Marine from the United States, a specialized recon or a raider Marine, those guys are a different kettle of fish. All right, they're bloody fantastic. The kit that they've got, the training that they have, are on par, if not better, than the Royal Marines. Okay, now when it comes to special forces, I hear a lot about Indian Para SF. Okay, and they're great guys, but the ego of the people, the ego of the course, keeps their heads above a certain point where they think they're better than other organizations, but in truth, they're not. Okay, in truth, they're nowhere close to the United States Special Forces. They're nowhere close to British SAS or SBS. It's just a fact. Okay, we created the blueprints, and America made it better. That's what the world knows. So when it comes to the Russian special forces or more specialized units underperforming, I'm not surprised, and I'm not shocked, because from where I come from, the military that I come from, they're not really classed. They're not really in the same league of conversation when it comes to eliteness of special forces. Does that mean then that they're not great? No, it doesn't mean that. But it just doesn't mean that they'll. I just know that it doesn't live up to the. It just doesn't live up to the hype. Those who know. That's all I'll say. So yeah, does that make sense? Any questions on that, guys? I don't mean to offend any military around the world, right? Anyone who signs on the dotted line is fantastic, and including a lot of the Indian regiments. I'm just using them as an example. Indian Paras SF are a fantastic organization. Okay, guys, but are they better than Delta Force? Absolutely not. Okay, absolutely not. It's just it's just not the same. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense, troops. Sorry, I've got a few questions to catch up on here. Bear with me. If I go quiet for a few seconds, guys, it's just because I'm reading some of the comments. So hopefully that answers your question, Carl. Good question. Good comment. Hey, first super chat in about 3 months. Kevin Shields, thank you very much, sir. You're saying, what do you think they planned the car bomb for? If it was really for his daughter, I don't see how that's a helpful hit. That's a great question, that. So, hang on, let me think about. There's a number of reasons why they wanted to plan a car bomb. Look, there's two ways to look at it, okay? Intention. Let's just go with the intention of. Let's just surmise that what's being said is true, and that bomb was placed there for a reason. It wasn't meant for the daughter, I don't think, truly. It was meant for her father, who was an ally of Putin. That's going to disrupt morale massively within political echelons of their society, of their military framework. So it's gonna affect morale, even with the local populace thinking, "Wow, people are being targeted now." It's gonna scare people. It's gonna make people think before they do things, think before they act. They're gonna have to plan for these eventualities taking place, potentially a lot more. We've seen it. I think another one today happening. So I think it was. Who do you think they planned the car bomb for? It was really for his daughter. Yeah, I mean, it's either way. The daughter's the one that caught it up, really. So, irrespective, it's definitely going to. Its intention is being met. All right, it's to cause panic, alarm, distress, and it'll work. Okay. But there's many different reasons potentially why it could have happened. Sorry, I haven't answered that as thoroughly as you might want. Hopefully that makes sense, Kevin. If it doesn't, let me know, buddy. DVD, you're saying, I think you're trying to say they are dangerous, but the US GBSF are lethal. Yeah, in truth, globally, you have to look at who's doing what. And look, I'm not saying others aren't as good. That would be naive and egotistical of me as well. But all I'm saying is, don't be surprised if certain groups aren't as good as you've been told, so to speak. Okay, because that's from what I've found. That's just the way it is. Okay. And I grew up wanting to join the army, actually. I never joined the army. I ended up joining the Royal Marines Commandos. Believe it or not, after watching Rambo about 100 times from the age of 13 to 15. That's true. I heard he was a Green Beret. I started looking into, do we have an equivalent Green Beret? It was the Royal Marines, and that's why I joined it. And that's such a true story, guys. Don't judge me. Oh, we got a few more super chats coming in, guys. Thank you very much for your generosity. It's such a morale booster on my side. From having a few crap months on this platform. I can't thank you enough, man. Thank you, guys. Seriously, thanks. Andrew Mohed saying, no matter what you say about Russia's lack of military leadership or lack of balls, they're still there and still doing damage. Do you think it will be a battle of attrition? Exactly. I do think it is going to be that. I think it's going to be not necessarily the last man standing, but it's going to be close to it. It's going to be close to that, and it's all about support. Ukraine isn't even in the mix, really, if it doesn't have Western support. It isn't even in the mix if it doesn't have support from NATO. So, holistically speaking, NATO's heavily reliant on that support. They don't really have a game to play if that doesn't take place. Okay, that's the honesty of it. So I think it's going to be long drawn out as long as Ukraine has support and full support, and that strategical support continues to develop as this war goes on. I think Russia will eventually. I mean, we've seen somewhat of a stalemate anyway on the front lines near Donetsk, all the way up Kramatorsk. I think I've pronounced that right. It's like about 136 kilometers stretch of front lines. And we'll show you. In fact, I'll show you now before I read the next question, guys, because it's interesting. So this bit here, this front line here, it will go back. Let's go back a little bit. Right, where's the date on this? Where's the date gone? Here we go. Right, so this is today. Okay, you're watching. You might not see any movement. That was yesterday. See those pointers there moving? I mean, we're talking feet. We're not talking a lot of land there being taken. So we'll go the day before, nothing. The day before, nothing really. All right, these front lines, as you can see, I'm moving it day by day. Aren't really moving too quick. So we'll go at the beginning of the month. So that's the end of last month, right? You can't see the date on my screen, on your screen, but we'll just push this forward a bit, okay? In fact, let me change the screen so you can see it properly. Right, 2 seconds. Right, you see the date at the bottom of the screen, right? Let's look at this front line here, 136 kilometers worth. We're going to go all the way up to the present day, right? The first of the month. Second. I mean, that was a little bit of a jump, but not talking major gains now. All right. We'll flick through all the way up to the 23rd. There we go. We're not seeing major gains. That's nearly a whole month there. Okay. So, bit of a stalemate, war of attrition. Yeah, I think it's going to be, hopefully, it's going to be something where, logistically speaking, Russia can't. I don't even think we're talking about kit and equipment now. That was the story that we were talking about originally. But I think personally, we're not going to be that's Russia's the least of the worries, because I think what we've got here is a real problem with actually getting manpower to the front lines now. I mean, they've increased the age of national service. I think it's up to like 65 in Russia. Might be wrong. Someone let me know in the comments. Um, that's crazy, guys. Okay, that means they can't get bums on seats. They might have the weaponry if they've got the weaponry, great, but you can't fire a weapon system without a man holding it. So I think long term the problem's going to be if Ukraine can keep on doing small amounts of damage on the front lines, pushing them back. You've got the HIMARS system in there. You've probably got special forces all over the ground doing small little, shoot and scoot commando style raids and missions on these individuals. You can keep on peppering away. I think eventually Russia probably won't have the manpower to sustain this eventually, okay? We've seen Russia recruiting soldiers from the Middle East and stuff, so that should tell you everything that you need to know. If they can, push this out into a long drawn situation, I think eventually Russia will probably fall back due to a lack of manpower. What do you think about that? That's just my thoughts, guys. Thank you for your super chat, Andrew. I really appreciate that, bud, and thank you for your question, man. Really good question, that. Kevin Shields, hey, thank you again for your kind super chat, my friend. You're saying you can build something that you can blow with a £60 cell phone. That was like 1980s IRA crap. Yeah, it's very true. I mean, the wars will bring that certain element of technology out. I mean, you're seeing the way they're manipulating normal, bog standard commercial drones now, and creating, literally flying death machines. Okay, creating havoc. I think Russia ordered quite a few from, I don't want to say Iran, but I think it was Iran. I might be wrong. So yeah, these drones, I've always said this in videos, even a year ago, that drones are, the future of warfare. Swarm drones, especially. Swarm drones guided by real fighter pilots in the air or unmanned aerial systems, and then just coordinating these swarm drones to go and do the business. I think that's going to be the next big stuff. But I don't know. We had an actual in-depth conversation about this on one of our streams quite a while ago. But thank you, Kevin, for your super chat, buddy. Keep the questions coming, guys. Thomas Sugg, I'm not too sure about whether or not that's been verified or not. A few weeks ago, North Korea said they would offer 100,000 men to Russia to help. Really? Let me see if I can have a look at that. North Korea, I mean, that's... Let's see this. Oh, okay. You might be onto something there, actually, buddy. So it's from the Independent Press. North Korea offers Russia 100,000 volunteers to fight Ukraine. The thing is, though, right? They're not volunteers if they're from North Korea. Let's get that straight. They're not volunteering. Moscow should not be shy in accepting the hand extended to us by Kim Jong-un, says a Russian defense expert. North Korea is ready to send 100,000 soldiers to its ally Russia as a military assistance for boosting its invasion of Ukraine. Well, yeah, that's crazy, man. Let's see what the Mirror says, actually. Might have a little bit more on there. Up to 100,000 North Korea soldiers could be sent to bolster Vladimir Putin's force fighting Ukraine. What do you think about that? Is that something that I don't know if that's something that would literally happen. I can't see it. A leading defense expert in Moscow, Reserve Colonel Igor, told State TV, "We shouldn't be shy in accepting the hand extended to us by Kim Jong-un. North Korea has made it clear through diplomatic channels, as well as providing builders to repair the war damage, it's ready to supply a vast fighting force," reported the news agency. I don't know if that's even going to be a plausible thing. This is this is where even logistically getting 100,000 North Korean soldiers. I mean, North Korea. I'm not against. How do I put this right? There's the human rights problems in North Korea are well documented. Okay, these guys are probably starving anyway. I think, is he going to send 100,000 soldiers over to support Russia? And even then, is it going to be enough? There's one thing that we need to remember with North Korea: they're not really battle tested. All right, they battle. They like to think that they've got a big mouth in this situation, in many situations. All right, and if you look at this picture here, it's like a show of force, but we all know that they're not really battle tested like America is battle tested. Okay, I mean we're talking about the UK military is been involved in active war campaigns for the past, I don't know, 1,000 years or so, whatever. It's like we've been fighting for a long time. Whether it's right or wrong, that's what we've done. In America, the same. France, Germany, we've been active, haven't we? But North Korea, not so much. Not so much. Just reading a little bit more of this article. It says they will be deployed to the forces of the separatist pro-Putin's Donetsk People Republic, and both of which Kim has recently recognised as independent countries. Of course, he has. He has to, really, doesn't he? The southeastern regions of Donetsk, known as Donbass, have been controlled by Moscow-backed separatists for almost 8 years. So 100,000 North Korea's soldiers primed to go to Ukraine. I don't know what to make of that, guys. Don't know what to make of that. Hey, troops, if you've just joined, 166 viewers, thank you for stopping by. I normally do this type of thing. Haven't done it for a few months. Go back to the beginning of the video if you want, or rewatch this to find out the reasons why. But in a nutshell, we're going to be coming back a little bit more to do updates like this, because it's good to interact with you guys and speak to you firsthand, okay? And yeah, I want to get the channel back to where it used to be. Hey, Kevin Shields, again, thank you for your super chat and your generosity, buddy. You're saying what I'm saying is that a car bomb is not a matter of engineering anymore. It's just a matter of will. Right, okay, I see what you're saying. So what you're saying is it's not about having the expertise to be able to do it. Back in the day, the experts, the ones who were few and far between. What you're saying is now is that on the war zone in Ukraine, we're seeing this type of stuff happen quite easy. Information is all around us to be able to do these things. Okay, average Joe can create those things if they have the will to do so. In Ukraine, they don't just have the will; they have the need. Okay, I think that's another thing. They have the need to be able to do this type of thing. They have to think on their feet, use the resources that they've got, because they are heavily reliant on foreign support. So, they've got to make what they can with what they have. Ingenuity is key here in these type of wars. Anyway, thank you, brother Kevin Shields. You are top super chatter, dude. Damn, again. Thank you, brother. You're saying if Putin agrees to feed and house and get them drunk, they'll do it. Yeah, I mean, 100,000 North Koreans is different to 100,000 United States veterans, even, or 100,000 German soldiers, 100,000 French Foreign Legion. Very, very different. You'd be worried then. But North Korean soldiers, like you say, just to be fed and just to be out the country. This is something as well. I don't think this is the reason I think he won't do it. How many of those 100,000 would risk their lives on the front line to get the hell out of Ukraine into a different country? A lot of them don't like their lives over there. All right, they're living under a regime which is cruel, inhumane, not very nice. 100,000, you'd probably have 90,000 deserters. All right, that's food for thought, quite literally. I don't think many of them would stay on the battleground. I think bloody bugger off somewhere else to escape to freedom as a refugee. That's what I think. Thank you for your super chat again, buddy. Western Body, thank you. You're saying good evening. Hey, buddy. Oh man, get the question. If you're going to super chat, guys, make sure you get a question in. Helps the debate flow a little bit more. But either way, I really appreciate that, Western Body. Thank you, my friend. Christian Cruz, how you doing, my friend? You're saying Dit Commando this Monday, 44 Apache longbows arrived in Denmark on a ship. They are going to Lithuania to be permanently stationed to guard the Slovakia Gap. Is that in, well, obviously that's in response to the situation over Ukraine then, eh? Interesting. How many likes have we got? I can't actually see. Let me see if I can see. 139 likes. Thank you, guys. That's literally super. Thank you so much for that. Over 100 likes, 161 concurrent viewers as well. Right, so there's something I want to read into. I've read like the first few sentences from it, but I want you guys to start putting some comments in and giving your little spiel on it, so to speak, so I can gauge what you think of it. I'll add my 50 pence worth as well. There we go. All right, let's just zoom in a bit. Russian offensive campaign assessment, August 23rd. Okay, so Russian government sources confirmed that Russia is bringing Ukrainian children to Russia and having Russian families adopt them. Now, let me read that. Russian government sources confirmed that Russia is bringing Ukrainian children to Russia and having Russian families adopt them. Right. Unless I'm missing the context completely in this, why would there be? Well, I guess we'll have to read on to find out a little bit more. But why would there be bringing Ukrainian children to Russia in the first place? Are we talking about Ukrainian children from what's the word? The word I'm looking for, displaced families, displaced from the war. Surely that's the reason why. I'm just trying to think humanely here about it, but I'm not too sure that Russia would be thinking about it in a humane way in the first place. What's your take on that? Kevin Shields, thank you for your super chat. You're saying, in response to your earlier question about NK, has Putin made solid decisions so far? In your earlier question about NK, what? Yeah, forgive me, I don't know what you'll have to refresh my brain. NK, and don't be surprised with my memory, guys. I literally do have a little bit of a problem with my memory. I don't know if it's probably because I've took too many shots to the head from boxing. So if I forget something, then my apologies. I'm not too sure. NK? I'm not too sure what you mean. Apologies, man, because I know that's a super chat. You don't have to super chat for the response. Oh, North Korea. In response to your earlier question about North Korea, has Putin made solid decisions so far? No, I don't think he has made solid decisions so far. Look, it's a hard thing to make solid decisions when you're invading a country anyway, when everyone's against it, really. With regards North Korea, would it be a good decision to accept the offer of 100,000, volunteers? I don't like calling it volunteers because it's not really, is it? They're definitely going against the will, but it depends on the situation at the time of when he either accepts or declines. If they're in a position where the manpower is struggling, it's really, really low, which from news sources, it seems to be that way. We've mentioned earlier that they've increased the age limit. I think it's 65, confirm in the chat. for military service, national service, whatever you want to call it, conscription in Russia. That tells me that they're probably running out of manpower. But this is another thing to consider. Their best troops will have already have been utilized, many of which will have probably been killed in the process of war. So you can't just train soldiers in a couple of weeks. You need formidable men to be able to do the job. And I don't think you can do that in a couple of weeks, guys. It took 9 months for me to become a Royal Marines Commando, and even then, I still felt very, very green, very much. There was a lot to learn still. I didn't learn. I didn't feel as if I started to learn until I got to my unit, a commando unit. Then the learning began, and the process takes even a couple of years after that. So you're talking the best part of 3 years before you become what I felt is a comfortable operator within a fighting capacity in the military. So yeah, he's going to be in big trouble, man. That's one thing for sure. Kevin Shields, damn, you're blowing us out of the water, man. North Korea, Putin, smart or dumb? Hopefully that answered. That's probably your response. Hopefully that answered your question. So yeah, I think he's going to have to. Potentially consider offers as such, depending on how well equipped they are with manpower, which sources say it's dwindling. Day by day, quite literally, especially when you're fighting trench warfare. It's going to happen, guys. It is going to happen. Anyway, back to this. Where we are. Yeah, Russian government source confirmed that Russia is bringing Ukrainian children to Russia and having Russian families adopt them. Not too sure what to think about that. Any questions in the chat relating to that? A lot of people saying human trafficking. A lot of people saying a type of cleansing. They were from Mariupol. That's basically kidnapping to me. Yeah. I just saw Royal Marines. I need to read it because that's what I was in. You're saying the British Royal Marines are awesome. They really are the type to go. Damn, this is about to be painful. And then we go in with their eyes open, ready for anything. Yeah, don't get me wrong. The Royal Marines aren't the best on the planet. I believe they're the best at what they do. Fantastic basic infantry course, basic amphibious infantry course. A really, really good course that prepares you for Special Forces selection, if that's the route you want to go to. I don't think there's a better course you can do in the British military other than the parachute regiment that would prepare you as effectively. So it's a good course. It's a good job. It can be a really good stepping stone if you want to go higher. That's what I would say. Yeah, so a lot of people saying potentially human trafficking and that type of thing. What else does this say? Russia Federal Subject Region, Craze Family and Childhood Administration posted about a program under which Russian authorities transferred over 1,000 children from Mariupol to Tyumen and Achekrai, where Russian families have adopted them, transported them. So Mariupol was under siege, wasn't it? That was it was a big old area of interest. Kevin Shields, hey buddy, you've super chatted too much, man. Thank you so much. You're saying sorry, didn't mean to be disrespectful, just trying to figure this out. No, you're not disrespectful at all, man. I have to thank you respectfully for asking so many questions. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. So what's happening here? The administration stated that over 300 children are still waiting to meet their new families. This is hideous. Even if they're unfortunately victims of war and say their parents have been lost to war, which is terrible, in my opinion, the first people who should have the right to adopt them should be the Ukrainian people. That's that's what I think. This is quite terrible, actually. This is quite. I haven't read this far prior. This is horrible. And that the citizens who decide to adopt these children will be provided with a one-time bonus by the state. I'm not too sure about that. I'm not too sure about how this goes down morally. It's weird. Ukraine's main intelligence directorate, GUR, additionally reported that Russian officials transferred 30 Ukrainian children from those areas in occupied Donetsk Oblast to that area under the guise of having the children participate in youth educational training programs. Wow. So it is a form of, is that a, I'm not going to say it's not ethnic cleansing. It's a, these I don't like this. So they're being transported to Russia, adopted by families, and then put in programs. Yeah, I don't know what to make of that. The forcible transfer of children of one group to another with intent to destroy in whole or in part a national, ethnical, racial, or religious group. Yeah, so they're wanting to change the identity of these children quite literally. Um, it's a violation of the Convention on the Prevention of Punishment of the Crime of Genocide. Yeah, this is horrible. There's children right now being transferred to Russia that has so much scope for abuse. It's unbelievable. Um, yeah, I feel really uncomfortable with that actually. Yeah, you're saying it's just a way to take control over the kids. Um, hmm, it is it is ethnic cleansing, right? Is that a national, ethnical, racial, or religious group? Its intent is to destroy, in whole or in part, those sub brackets. It's a violation of the Convention of the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide. Russian authorities are deploying security forces to Luhansk Oblast, likely in response to waning support for the war and growing unwillingness to fight among Luhansk residents. So they're deploying more security forces there. The LNR internal ministry reported on August 23rd, so today, that LNR internal ministry personnel conducted joint patrols with consolidated police detachments from the internal ministries of St. Petersburg and Leningrad Oblast in Staroblisk. The LNR internal ministry also reported on August 22nd that the units conducted security for Russian Flag Day celebrations. Ukraine's main intelligence directorate reported that elements of the Donetsk, formerly uh, Sloviansk, sorry, I can't pronounce that properly, are not subordinate to the local LNR forces, and that they conducted a search of an LNR official in that region. The deployment of Russian security forces to police occupied areas supports previous assessments that the residents are possibly militia forces may be unwilling to continue fighting now that they have reached these areas, these borders. That's interesting that there's a lack of willingness to fight. I think we're going to see a lack of, as this goes on, you're going to see potentially on both sides, more so Russia, a complete lack of wanting to fight. When they find that they're not really being supported, hey, we're gonna see a lot of this. Hey, Michael Smith, just joining in now. How you doing? Steve Benny. Gender, the children are ethnic Russian. But how? But, well, I don't know if. So this is the thing though. This is what it says. You're saying that the children are ethnic Russian. The Russian government sources confirmed that Russia is bringing Ukrainians' children to Russia and having Russian families adopt them. This is on. This is a Russian offensive campaign assessment, right? This is the for the Study of War write these articles. So it clearly says Russian government sources confirmed that Russia is bringing Ukrainian children to Russia and having Russian families adopt them. I'm going to go with this personally, Steve. Michael Smith, how you doing, buddy? Hey, Andrew Moorhead, Gender Members Club, new member. You're saying it sounds like something Hitler would have done. Yeah, it's a dictatorish type thing to do, isn't it? You take the children, you can recondition the brains. I mean, it's saying that this is a forcible transfer of children of one group to another, of one group to another group. Yeah, Ukraine to Russia. Different mindsets, different ethnical, national, racial, and religious groups. And it's saying here with the intention to destroy in whole or in part those subgroups. And it's a violation. So I'm not with you on that one, Steve. Andrew Moorhead, member for 6 months. Sounds like something. Yeah, I thought you were a new member there. Actually, sorry, mate. 6 months. Thank you for your service to the channel, guys. If you want to become a member, the link is in the description. Feel free to join. I hear everyone in the UK is ethnically Russian. Yeah. Casual germ. Imagine how heartbroken their parents must feel. Well, actually, that's a really good point because I'm just going off the premise that their parents have been killed in the what's the word, collateral damage of war, and that's the reason for them being transported. But that's me using my moral compass. But that's definitely not me thinking, that's how Russia would do it. So maybe, it's bloody worse, isn't it, really, if the parents still are alive and well, and that means the kids have been forcibly taken. Well, actually, no. Here it is. It actually says it here. The forcible transfer of children. So I actually have to go off the idea that the parents haven't been killed. It's a forcible transfer. It's, if the parents had been killed, would it be a forcible transfer? I'm just thinking of the terminology here. Douche Tom, not all of them killed. Kids were taken from literation camp as well. Literation camp as well, sorry. Okay. It's an interesting topic, this, actually, guys. A sad topic, to say the least. But I think we might jump into a few other things tomorrow. We're going to do a deep state map. It'll be day 183 tomorrow. Well, actually, today. And then see what this assessment, this ISW, Institute for the Study of War Assessment, says. I think it's pretty interesting. There's a lot of information coming out of this. But yeah, we've been on about an hour, actually. About an hour. Had some pretty good views, nearly 1,000 views. Guys, I just need to say thank you. Thank you for stopping by. I was literally playing Escape from Tarkov. I got killed on a scav run, and then I got killed on a PMC run because I only had a knife and I didn't have a weapon system. I got really frustrated, and then I thought, you know what, feeling down in the dumps for the past 2 months. Let's get back into doing a bit of a live update, because you only get out what you put in. The results on the channel has been lacking because I haven't been putting in the effort, and yeah, here I am making amends. Even Marines can be lazy sometimes, and yeah, I admit I haven't been feeling myself of recent. So I just want to say thanks for giving me all the chances in the world to give you this type of content. Over 140 people are happy to be here, so that makes me a little bit more positive than I was yesterday. So thank you guys for stopping by, and a very special thanks to everyone who's asked a super chat question, because that costs them money to do so, and that portion of that money goes to me. So thank you. I thank you so much. That really helps me out. This is how I earn my living. So all you guys, I appreciate you all. I've got some big ideas with the channel, guys. It's just implementing them. It is implementing them. It's sometimes difficult, but I do want to change up how we do things slightly. I want to incorporate more content. I wish I had the balls to be able to go over to Ukraine and report on the front line with a couple of these guys, but I've got a young family, a daughter who's not even 2 years old yet, and another baby on the way. So my priorities, I have to keep myself here for my family, But if I need to think outside the box, I want to do more with myself. I've actually, I don't mind sharing this with you. I've been reaching out to talent agencies. You'll not hear any YouTuber talk like this, by the way. This is me just wearing my heart on my sleeve. I've been emailing different talent agencies and stuff because I want to know how the middle to top YouTubers do it, i.e. KSI, Slim, Albaher. There's all of these guys who are doing these YouTube boxing fights, getting paid mega money that would change my life, my wife's life, right? Make us financially free. I want to know how they're doing it, because they're doing it and I'm not. And I'm thinking, well, I can do that better than them. I'm not saying I can do these live updates better than people who's already doing it, like Dennis and all these other people, fantastic YouTubers. But I can do things like getting on the YouTube boxing scene better than those. I can train harder than those. I can give better training content for you in preparation for those YouTube fights. I've got a lot of support from you guys. I know you should support me. If I got into the boxing ring, those videos would be watched by all of my audiences because they'd want to see it. So, yeah, I've reached out to a few talent agencies thinking, is that how they do it? Do they have a talent agency behind them coordinating all these moves? How do they do it? Information is key. Knowledge is, in most scenarios, worth more than money. So if anyone has any information on that, send it my way, man. Email me, drop a comment. Carl. I don't know what you see you later, Carl. Yeah, Carl. Yeah, what else, dude? If you're trying to insult me, Carl, I'm literally 16 stone, 5'10", can run a mile and a half in like 9 minutes, mate. I'm in shape, dude. All right. Don't let the angles fool you. Okay. I'm in shape. I'm strong as a bull. All right. I'm a big lad. So yeah, that's it. Troops, a little bit of a rant on there, but as always, I like to be personal with you guys, okay? But anyway, guys, thank you for stopping by. The super chatters, thank you. The members, thank you. And I'll hopefully see you tomorrow on another one of these streams. And yeah, take it easy, guys. Peace.